World War II, one of the deadliest and most defining conflicts in human history. Between 1939 and 1945, the world witnessed unprecedented destruction, heroism, and the reshaping of global power. From the rise of totalitarian regimes to the atomic bomb that brought the war to a catastrophic close, this war changed the course of history forever. The seeds of World War II were planted in the aftermath of World War I. In Europe, the Treaty of Versailles left Germany humiliated, burdened with heavy reparations, and struggling economically. It was under these conditions that Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party rose to power in 1933, promising to restore Germany's former glory. Meanwhile, across the globe, Japan, driven by imperial ambitions, sought to expand its territory throughout Asia and the Pacific. Hitler's expansionist vision became clear in 1938 with the annexation of Austria, and later, the demand for the Sudetenland in Czechoslovakia. Despite attempts by European leaders, like British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain, to avoid conflict through diplomacy, famously proclaiming peace for our time, Germany invaded Poland on September 1, 1939. Just 2 days later, Britain and France declared war on Germany, officially marking the beginning of World War II. Early in the war, the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan, had sweeping victories. Hitler's Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, strategy allowed Germany to swiftly conquer Poland, Denmark, Norway, Belgium, and France by 1940. Meanwhile, in the Pacific, Japan began expanding its empire, occupying parts of China, Korea, and Southeast Asia. But Britain, led by Prime Minister Winston Churchill, refused to surrender. The Battle of Britain in 1940 became the first major turning point of the war. Although London was bombed relentlessly by the Luftwaffe, the British Royal Air Force successfully defended their skies, thwarting Hitler's plans for invasion. In June 1941, Hitler made a critical mistake: he invaded the Soviet Union. The Eastern Front became the largest and bloodiest theater of the war, with millions of casualties as the Soviet Red Army fiercely resisted. Meanwhile, on December 7, 1941, the war took on a truly global dimension when Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, crippling the United States Pacific Fleet. The attack galvanized the United States, which declared war on Japan the next day. Shortly after, Germany and Italy declared war on the United States, bringing the world's largest industrial power into the conflict. By 1942, the tide of the war began to turn. In Europe, the Allies, led by the United States, Britain, and the Soviet Union, began to push back. The Soviet victory at the Battle of Stalingrad marked a significant turning point on the Eastern Front, as German forces were forced into retreat. On June 6, 1944, the Allies launched Operation Overlord, better known as D-Day, with the largest amphibious invasion in history. Over 156,000 troops stormed the beaches of Normandy, France. This invasion was a decisive blow to Nazi Germany, opening up a Western Front that would lead to the liberation of Paris and the eventual collapse of the Third Reich. In the Pacific, the United States adopted a strategy of island hopping, securing key islands to get closer to the Japanese mainland. The Battle of Midway in 1942 was a critical victory for the U.S. Navy, weakening Japan's naval power and shifting momentum in favor of the Allies. By 1945, the Axis powers were crumbling. In Europe, the Allies pressed into Germany from both the east and west. On April 30, 1945, Hitler committed suicide in his Berlin bunker. Just days later, Germany officially surrendered on May 7, 1945, marking the end of the war in Europe, Victory in Europe, or VE Day. However, in the Pacific, the war continued. In August 1945, the United States dropped atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, causing unimaginable devastation. Faced with total destruction, Japan surrendered on August 15, 1945, ending the war in the Pacific, Victory over Japan, or VJ Day. World War II left the world in ruins. Cities across Europe and Asia were destroyed, millions of lives were lost, and the horrors of the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews were murdered, shocked the conscience of the world. The aftermath of the war also reshaped global politics. Two superpowers emerged, the United States and the Soviet Union, setting the stage for the Cold War. The Nuremberg trials brought Nazi war criminals to justice, and the war's legacy led to the creation of the United Nations, with the hope of preventing future global conflicts. World War II changed the world in ways we are still grappling with today. It was a war that saw the worst of humanity, but also extraordinary bravery, sacrifice, and resilience. As we remember the lessons of history, we honor those who fought and those who lost their lives, ensuring their legacy endures for generations to come. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What aspect of World War II fascinates you the most? Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.